Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Press Playbook, where we bring on a different BAM team member each week to highlight some of the rad placements we're getting for our clients. This week, we are bringing back on Emily, who recently got their client Lanai on a broadcast segment in Bloomberg. Let's see how they did it. Emily, so happy to have you back on. For folks who did not watch your previous episodes, because you've been on a few times now, tell us what you do at BAM and your role and the clients that you work with.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm a senior account manager here at BAM. I lead media relations here, and I'm also the day-to-day contact for our clients. I work with a wide range of accounts that focuses on B2B, also B2C, deep tech, and anything related to AI. So yeah, excited to be back today and talk a little bit more about Lanai.
The AI realm is so fun. Everything Lanai is doing is incredible. And we're here because you recently got them on a broadcast segment for Bloomberg. Tell us what Lanai does first, and then we can go into the whole pitch and the segment and everything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Lanai is an AI accountability platform where they work with enterprises directly and they track how AI is being used within their organization. And they also track if there's ROI coming out of it. So it's just a great platform helping out enterprises as we know that everyone is using AI, especially in the workplace, and want to make sure that the investments are worth it.
The expansion of AI in how fast it's come out is so wild to me. So any of those reports, I'd be so interested to see. And it's interesting because I feel like I've been seeing so much right now, in particular, about the ROI of using AI and the cost benefit and the productivity and what that looks like. So that's a super interesting report that they just released. So I know you said that they did release that report. So that was kind of the internal conversation happening. But what led you guys to go after like a Bloomberg segment and how did that come about?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we first launched the report, we got some great media coverage with Business Insider and trade publications, but we always try to reach for the stars essentially. And we're like, okay, we would love to get our CEO on broadcast. She has such an interesting background of being a former Google executive, also working at Gusto as well. So just having that background and expertise in this evolving tech world was great for us to position her to reach out to producers. So, actually, taking a step back, what we did for this Bloomberg coverage is we did a cold pitch. So, we were looking on LinkedIn and we saw that there was a brand new producer over at Bloomberg. And I noticed that she went to the same college as me. I went to Quinnipiac, go Bobcats. And so I thought just to reach out to her, congratulating her on the role and just noting that we're both alumni or at QU. And she responded fairly quickly. She appreciated the acknowledgement of her, moving on to this new role and just sharing more information of the type of guests that they were looking for. So we were kind of going back and forth for a while. And she did mention that they were looking for more of female executives. And I was thinking, Lexi over at Lanai would be perfect for this. And the way that we pitched her was offering not only the AI labor report that came out, but also Lexi had a strong POV of the upcoming potential AI IPOs. So that was just a great conversation starter. And from that, we were able to get her on air within a couple of weeks after.
I love that. I love that you found her on LinkedIn. I love that she went to the same college. It's relatability. It's being just human. I think that makes such a huge difference. Let me pull up the pitch here because
Yeah.
I want to show everybody kind of what you guys did, your strategy behind it. I'm going to make this full screen for us. So dive into this a little bit, Emily. Tell us what you guys included here, why you included it, the things that you think you guys did really well. This is a great pitch in general, so I'm curious to hear what you guys did and how you did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what we keep on hearing from reporters directly is that they don't want these long winded pitches. Let's keep it straight to the point, two paragraph specs, even a couple of sentences with something just like this was able to garner her attention. So, I even sometimes offer when I do cold outreach of like, hey, open to hopping on a call. I feel like nowadays no one wants to hop on a phone call, but sometimes producers or reporters do appreciate that. So then this is when I was talking about earlier is that she came back sharing some more information about the type of guests that they're looking for, the topics that they're really been focusing on, which is AI markets. And then that's where I thought of, oh, okay, the upcoming potential AI IPOs and offering Lexi. So you'll see I also highlighted where that's where they did ask, like, if there's a woman executive available, they would love to have her on. So then if you scroll down a little bit more, you'll see that this is where I circled back and just shared more information about Lexi's background and some of the talking points and just keeping it straight to the point. This is what producers are looking for because you could only imagine that they are so busy. They're getting, I would say, over 100 pitches a day, and you have to make sure that your pitch is standing out amongst the others. So yeah, this is essentially it. And I think what also caught our eye was that we did pull one or two data points from the report itself, just showcasing that the the importance of using AI, but also it looks like that a lot of these enterprises don't know how they're tracking AI ROI, which is a big issue.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I love being able to see the whole thread. So thank you for pulling this for us.
Of
And
course.
you mentioned that, let me minimize this here. You mentioned that this was not a reporter that you've had a relationship with in the past. But for founders who are kind of in this same boat where they're just starting pitching or they're pitching new reporters, what are some tips that you can give for them to continue to build that relationship? Maybe they don't have news right now, but how do you keep that relationship going?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. If they are based, these founders, if you're based in SF or New York, that's a lot of where these reporters are based. So offer that one-on-one, hey, do you want to have a coffee chat? Just learn more about my company. How could I be a resource to you? And also you could tease out any upcoming announcements depending on who the reporter is. But if you feel comfortable, you're building this relationship, you could circle back with them saying, hey, thanks for hopping on a call with me. Just want to let you know we're going to be launching this type of product, or we have this exciting partnership, which I'll keep you in the loop on in a couple of weeks. So just continuing to build that relationship. Don't be too pushy because reporters don't like that. They want to make sure that they're talking to a human person and doesn't feel like AI is speaking to them. So just be your authentic self when you initially reach out to them.
That's what I'm hearing within this whole episode is just build that relationship. People are human.
Mhm.
You making that connection to college, you're human. I have the same, we went to the same place. We're in the same line of work. You shout it out. And I think, especially in the age of AI, I think that's the biggest thing that's missing. And I think it makes it even harder because we're now in a fully virtual realm where a lot of people aren't doing the Zooms or they aren't doing the in-person meetings. And then you layer that on top of people really heavily relying on AI, and you just completely lose that component. So I think that's a great piece of advice. And the other thing I wanted to ask you, Lexi, was this one of their first broadcast segments? Has she been on broadcast before? What was that kind of like?
Yeah, I would say that since we've worked with her directly, this was her first broadcast segment. She's done speaking engagements at conferences, podcasts, and all that other great stuff. But this was definitely a big win in her eyes. And what's great, I wanted to add, is that the producer said that the team loved having her on the segment. It was about 6 minutes, which is much longer than other segments that we see. They're usually 2.5, 3 minutes, and then moving on to the next guest. The producer mentioned that they would love to have her back on. They thought she was fantastic. So this is just the beginning of a fantastic relationship, not only for us, but also for our client.
That's so exciting for Lanai, so exciting for Lexi. That's a huge win. I love this episode. I love the personalization aspect and the emphasis on that. I know we kind of just touched on this, but Emily, to close us out, any other tips you can give for founders who are looking to land press? And maybe for this episode, we do specifically broadcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Like what I said earlier, be your authentic self, send out that cold outreach email. If you're able to have a one-on-one with them in person, definitely do that for a coffee chat. You never know where that conversation is going to pan out. Also, really leverage LinkedIn. Connect with them, engage with their posts, because if they keep on seeing the same person, commenting on their posts or liking their content, and then you reach out, they're going to click like, oh, I've seen this name before, and it might turn into something bigger.
For sure. Well, I love this, Emily. Thank you so much for sharing this. Thank you for pulling up your full email string. That was super helpful to see, giving us all the inside tips. For everyone listening, we'll have a new episode coming soon. And Emily, so great to have you on again. Congrats to the Lanai team. So exciting. Congrats to the BAM team as well. And we will see you again soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.